What's going on, everybody? Welcome. Welcome to the Watchtower podcast, the Jehovah's Witnesses Watchtower podcast. This is the episode 230. 230. Oh my goodness. Can you believe we've done 230 of these things? I can't believe it. I really can't. But yeah, welcome in. 230. This is a Techno-Owned. We're gonna obviously be covering some stuff when it comes to technology. It would be a little weird if I called it Techno-Owned and we didn't cover that. But you know. We'll just go with how it goes. But yeah, so we're going to be covering some things when it comes to technology, stuff that's going on, revolving around digital IDs, fast track to digital IDs, things when it comes to what's going on to giant supercomputers that are being built and established for AI, CBDC stuff, and a whole bunch of other things. And then we'll talk about some mosquitoes. Yeah. So kind of a smorgasbord of stuff, mainly focusing on what's going on with technology and how it's being used to own you. And something that I've always said, and I know a lot of people say it's, communism and fascism, socialism and stuff like that, when in reality, we're not going anywhere near that. We're actually entering into the neo-feudalistic technocracy, and they're going to be using technology, the kings, to control us. And so that's a fun stuff, starting out with the fun times. But that's what we'll be talking about. If this is your first time here, however, this is what we do on Tuesdays and Saturdays. We get together and we watch for the signs of the return of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. We don't know exactly when he's going to come, but we will know the season of his return. Well, how will we know the season? Well, we will see the convergence of end time signs, things like the construction of the Antichrist beast system being built in front of us, which we'll talk a little bit about tonight, as well as things that are coming together, which will become prophecies post-rapture into the day of the Lord that praise the Lord, we're not going to be here for. Honestly, thank you, Lord, for that. But we see these things converge together. And so we watch for these things as we're told to do and warn people of them and ultimately get the gospel of Jesus Christ out to as many people as we can. So that's what we do. So if this is your first time here, welcome in, whether you're watching live or later. Either way, glad to have you here. So, all right. Let's see how y'all are doing. I'm pressing buttons over here. You guys just heard. I gotta stop pressing buttons. Okay, we got two things to homer there. Let's see how y'all are doing tonight. Let's see if I can do it with pressing the right buttons this time. Let's go here, I guess. Nicole, what's going on, Nicole? You got the doggo in the picture, and good to see you. Dog pictures every time. Hopefully you're doing all right, Nicole. Thanks for being here. Hopefully you're having a good week so far. So thanks for spending your Tuesday here. We got Jeffrey Tasha. I don't think I've seen your name before, so welcome in. Howdy from Prescott Valley, Arizona. Well, you must be hot and dry over there. I think that's how Arizona works. Hot and dry. Is that right? Good to see you, Jeffrey. Wow. Stuff in my throat again. Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Caterlyn is back. Always good to have you. So if you guys need cookies, she's handing out double the cookies because she wasn't able to hand them out on Saturday. So make sure you guys get your double dose of cookies. Good to see you, Caterlyn. Thanks for being here. We got Asset. What's going on, brother? Thanks for being here, man. And always appreciate my tools and what they do. I couldn't do it without them. I really couldn't. This would be a nightmare of a show if I didn't have them. So thank you, guys. What's going on, Bubba? Brought the pizza. That would be Coco, which is right here. Here she is, Coco. Good to see you. She's got the pizza. So if you guys need the virtual pizza, go see Coco in the back. She's next to Caterlyn with the cookies. We got Kelly in the dog picture every time. Brainy. I am not a brainiac. No, that is definitely not me. I'm a wise guy, not a wise man. So good to see you, Kelly. Thanks for being here, spending your Tuesday here. JS, good to see you, JS. Thanks for spending your evening here. And hopefully you're having a good week so far. We got Mountain Skies with a whole bunch of big pink hands. Did you steal one of those from Mindy? I think she's in here somewhere. A couple of hearts. Good to see you, Mountain Skies. Thanks for being here. And hopefully you're doing all right. We got Judith Maynor. Good to see you. Let's see. Biden reporter out of ammo. Can anyone confirm that? Well, they may be out, but I lost mine in a boating accident. We'll just say that. Good to see you, Judith. Thanks for being here. I haven't heard anything about that, actually. So, yeah. We got Maya. Good to see you. And thanks for bringing us together again. The Lord brings us together. Maya, I'm just here to talk and do stuff like that. Me and my wonderful vocabulary. Good to see you. Hopefully you and the ducks are all lined up for tonight. We got Trace. Good to see you, Trace. God bless you as well, Trace. Always good to see you. We got Liz Ash as well. Good to see you, Liz. Thanks for being here. Derek Otto 230. Say it ain't so. I know. I can't believe it. Say it ain't so. I will not. Okay, never mind. That's from my generation. Let's go ahead and move on. We got Mr. Snow Wolf. Good to see you. Not His World is here as well. Good to see you. We got Tanya. Good to see you, Tanya. We got Gerard as well. Good to see you, Gerard. We got else non-compliant. Hey, that's clever. I like that. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Anybody else we got? We got Charlotte Marshall as well. Good to see you, Charlotte. We got a Rachel C. Late, but here no. I need your late papers. I need your papers. I expect those emailed me by the end of the show. Good to see you, Rachel. And of course, we got the peanut gallery with Stephanie. Good to see you, Stephanie. Thanks for being here, guys. And if I don't pick you out, it's not that I don't like you. It's just we got some stuff to get to, and we don't have all the time in the world. So let's go ahead and get into some housekeeping.
Housekeeping?
No, thank you. Sleeping.
Housekeeping?
All right, so housekeeping, usual spiel. If you guys can, like, share, subscribe, get this out to as many people as you can. It's not about views, not about butts and seats, but it is about getting the warning out to people and getting people to Jesus. That is ultimately what we need to do. We've got a lot of distractions going on around us right now, but we got to make sure we stay focused on what our generation is specifically commanded to do right now. So with liking, sharing, and subscribing, it does help get out to more people. So the stupid AI algorithm and stuff like that. Yeah, we'll be talking a little bit about AI again tonight. But ultimately, it's how it works. So if you guys can do me a solid, like, share, subscribe, that'd be great. Also follow me, Rumble, Odyssey, Telegram. There's my backup channels. If you get booted off YouTube, we'll be back up live streaming over on Rumble. So make sure you guys follow me there. Of course, we are multi-streaming, simulcasting, however you want to put it, to YouTube, Rumble, and the website all at the same time. Either way, though, YouTube's probably the most likely I'll get booted off of. So make sure you guys follow me, Rumble. Odyssey is an emergency platform there, just in case things go super south. So if you have an account, you might as well follow me there. You're not missing anything, so nothing exclusive. I don't do that stuff, but if you have an account, might as well follow me there. And then Telegram, we post updates, announcements, news things, and little things in between. Whatever comes my way that doesn't necessarily require a video, I just kind of throw on there and all that stuff, do announcements and things like that. Of course, we got the official WretchedWatchmen.com website. It is up and running. I did a little bit of an update on there. There's now a permanent section for announcements. Nothing to see there right now, obviously. And then I added an extra thing to get to the different video series playlists that I have done. So if you want to go to a specific series, it's as easy as just going to the website and clicking on the button. It'll take you right to it. But we are live streaming there, of course, right now as well. So that's your one-stop shop for all your questions. If you don't know what's going on, if I'm not live streaming, I didn't announce anything, and you're like, what's going on? Just head over to the website. You'll find your answer over there most likely. So make sure you bookmark that page. Coming up tomorrow, it is the first Wednesday of the month. Y'all know what's going on when it comes to the first Wednesday of the month. We've got a new episode of Bobblehead Adventures coming out noon Central tomorrow. So yeah, it's our chance to just kind of take a 5-minute break, just laugh it up, have some fun, not worry about anything. Don't take things too seriously. If we're not laughing, we'd be crying. And so, yeah, it's just a little fun break type of thing. So if you like the bobbleheads, they will be out tomorrow. So make sure you guys check that out. And last but not least, if you guys would like to support this channel and all this stuff, this channel's not monetized. I don't make anything from ads or views or anything like that. I run solely off of your guys' donations. So if you guys would like to support this and help me keep going and doing what I do, I got donation links down below. CashApp, Venmo, and GiveSendGo. I am truly, truly thankful for all your supports and for those who donate and pray and send encouraging notes and everything. Thank you guys for that. Truly, I really appreciate that. So thank you. All right, that's all we got. So yeah, let's go ahead and start getting into this. It is Tuesday. We'll just kind of be going from topic to topic and stuff like that. So if you got questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat. Make sure you put question in all capitals and then your question. If you don't follow the rules, your question may not get rewarded. You may be a rebel. That's cool. Just don't expect your question answered. So if you have some questions, go ahead and throw them in the chat along the way. And with that, it's Tuesday. We got ourselves the Wretched Weather Report. Sweet. All right, so Wretched Weather Report, what we do is we just kind of keep track of the trends when it comes to what's going on with natural events around the world. These are part of the end times birth pains that we are seeing, and they're going to increase in size and frequency as we go along. Storms, earthquakes, volcanoes, and all that type of stuff. So we just kind of keep track. I'm not a weatherman. I'm not a geologist. I just kind of do what I can to just keep an eye on what's going on and share it with y'all. So as far as earthquakes this past week, I just stick with the larger scale, 5.5 magnitude and up. We got ourselves a 6.1 in La Libertad, El Salvador. Then there's a 6.0 in Petropavlovsk, Kamchatsky. I'm getting pretty good at saying that. There's been quite a few there in Russia. That region, I'm not going to say the name again, but that region right there has been getting hammered for the past month with quite a few earthquakes and then some bigger ones. So I think that's kind of a newer one. I haven't really seen that area getting hit very often. So interesting with what's going on there. Then we got a 5.6 in the Rekenese Ridge, a 5.6 in South Sandwich Islands, not the North Sandwich Islands and not the Reuben Sandwich Islands, the South Sandwich Islands. And then there's a 6.4 in Penguna, Papua New Guinea. So that's about it. So we kind of went down from last week. We had quite a few, which was the first time in a while. And then it kind of just went down a little bit. And I am just now noticing in my notebook where there's supposed to be the volcanoes, it's blank. It seems I forgot to write down the volcano stuff. So because of my lack of mental quality here, we're going to go ahead and skip the volcanoes for this week, and I will make sure that I give you guys an update next week. I apologize for that. So if you were looking forward to that weekly volcano update, it's just not going to happen because I am so on top of things around here, as you can see. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next thing. Sorry about that. Hey man, Derek, that's not cool. That is not cool. Where is it at? Volcanoes volcanoes lives matter. You know, that's just very intolerant of you, man. Volcanoes lives matter. No, just kidding. Yeah, sorry about that. So, all right, let's go ahead and move on to the next thing. And we'll get started with the mosquitoes before we start getting into the Zach needs a nap. Yes, I need a juice box, a blankie, and a nap. I think we all could use that, honestly. I think we all could use that. Let's go ahead and get into mosquitoes before we get into the technology stuff. So I just came across this. This is a very interesting thing that I've been kind of keeping an eye on when it comes to what's going on with mosquitoes. So I did a video 2 months ago, around there, talking about the larvicide spraying that they were doing in the Pennsylvania area, but they're doing this spray stuff all over the place. I've seen it going in California, I've seen it going in Texas, Florida's got it going on. There's a bunch of other ones as well. But the latest one that I saw going on has to do with Massachusetts. And it's apparently so bad. The mosquito stuff is so bad that they're actually doing a curfew in the town. Imagine that. So this is coming from Oxford, Mass. It says health officials in one of 4 Massachusetts communities facing a critical risk for the Eastern equine encephalitis. I can get this. Encephalitis. Latitis. That's the best I got. EEE. We're going to call it EE or triple E. This is the new thing that's coming out. We were all aware of what was going on when it came to the West Nile stuff. They're still saying that there's some West Nile stuff going on. There was another thing that was going on, but ultimately this is the new quote unquote threat that's coming out of Zika was the other one. But apparently this is the new quote unquote threat. Now, if you guys remember, this has been going on for several years, but Bill Gates, of course, everybody's favorite non-doctor guy. Well, he's been testing with genetically engineered mosquitoes. And all of a sudden, we've got a lot of chemical spraying out of the blue because we understand that there was a new batch that was just released. This happens yearly, so it's not anything like new, so to say. But this is apparently the new threat. And I'm not saying that there is a connection, but I'm not saying that there's not a connection. We just don't know with how this goes. But in Massachusetts, they met together on Wednesday night. This was back in August 22nd, so a little bit ago. But they discussed to keep residents safe, ultimately approving a town wide curfew. As of Wednesday, the towns of Oxford, Douglas, Sutton, and Webster are considered at critical risk for triple E, according to the Massachusetts Arbovirus Risk Map. The towns were elevated to high-risk level after a man in his 80s recently tested positive for triple E. It's just, this is what happens when you give them an inch, they start taking 15 miles at this point. Said at 6 p.m. Board of Health hearing, Oxford officials weighed steps to ensure public safety. Oh, yes, all in the name of safety, including a possible ban. Yeah, you heard that right. Including a possible ban on outdoor activities on town property just as the fall youth sports season get underway. Despite pushback from many parents and attendants, health officials approved a recommended curfew of 6 p.m. while the risk of triple E remained critical. Don't do this to your kids, parents were shouting at the hearing. Do you have kids? Well, as we know, those in authority positions, they don't really respect the kids for many reasons. Starting October 1st, the curfew will shift to 5 p.m. and last through the first frost. Is anybody in this region watching? Anybody in this region? So you guys could let me know if you heard anything about this. If you have any extra details of what's going on, I would be curious to see what's going on with this. It said in Dudley, Northbridge, and Uxbridge, the risk for triple E is considered high. The Massachusetts Department of Public Health tested for triple E and WNV, that's West Nile virus, from June to October. The state offered the following best practices to what to do to prevent triple E infection. Repair your window screens. Wear mosquito repellent when between dusk and dawn. Wear long sleeves and long pants from dusk to dawn. Use mosquito netting, and so forth and so forth. You know, it's stuff that they always that they've already tested when it happened in 2020 for other reasons. Though rare, triple E is serious and potentially fatal disease that can affect people of all ages. Triple E is generally spread to humans through the bite of an infected mosquito. And yeah, we can see here the press release from the government says state officials announced plan to spray for mosquitoes in section of Worcestershire, and Plymouth counties due to triple E, and they're planning on going ahead with that. This is just another, again, we're seeing so many more of these things happen now, whether they're actually increasing in the amount of things like this, because, you know, you give an inch, they take a mile type of thing, or it's just becoming more media relevant because we're more, you know, perceptive now because of recent events. We just kind of look for this stuff. In my several years of scouring this news as deeply as I do, I don't remember it being this extreme as it has been this year in particular, which again, just I believe leads to this. But what we see going on is because of mosquitoes. They want to take your freedom away by doing curfews and this type of stuff, which how do I go through this here? They're going to continue to do this. They're going to continue for these quote unquote medical threats. They're going to continue to treat everybody like children. They're going to continue to treat everybody like peasants. And this is another thing if they want you to submit ultimately. Again, they're saying that there's a curfew involved. How it's supposed to be is you have the freedom to choose if you want to take the risk or not. That's how it was supposed to be. But we're at this point now where everybody has just now become little sheeps, and they're submitting to these false shepherds, so to say, as opposed to just listening to the one true shepherd who says we are to obey the law of the land. And what is the law of the land? It's the Constitution. And ultimately, we have the right to go out there, even if they're deadly mosquitoes waiting to attack us with a very rare but sometimes fatal mosquito thing, which again could be traced back. I'm not saying it is because I don't know for sure, but could be traced back to wonderful Bill Gates and all of his wonderful mosquito testing that he likes to do. Anyways, I don't want to get myself in trouble on that. But no, if you guys do live in this area, let me know what's going on over there. Because I had a few people contact me with the Pennsylvania one. And they were saying that they've done the spray stuff before, but never anything as extreme as they did this year. That seemed to be the general consensus from those who I understood lived in Pennsylvania after the larvicide thing. So again, they're always testing stuff. They're always doing chemical stuff. We understand when it comes to the trails and the crop dustings that they do and all the other stuff that they continue to spray into the air. We understand that this is all testing stuff. Again, it's all throughout history. You go back to something like Operation Sea Spray when the U.S. Navy dumped a whole bunch of bacteria all over San Francisco and the streets were glowing orange and all that type of stuff. This is nothing new. They continue to do it. What it actually is, I don't know. But again, this is just more repercussions for just doing whatever they tell us to do. I find it so fascinating that there's so many people who talk, but when the time comes to not obeying, they don't do it. I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying that's the general consensus. The keyboard warriors unite, all that type of stuff. Anyways, all right. Let's see here. Stephanie. Oh my goodness. Vinda question. Did you know that they sprayed New York recently? Yes, that was part of the cities that they're doing as well. Some in Florida, some in Texas, some in California, New York, Pennsylvania. We got this going on in Massachusetts. I think I saw something was in Nevada. I think they were doing something in Nevada. It's just they're spraying stuff all over the place. I mean, how did we ever survive without just spraying chemicals in the air, guys? I mean, how did we ever survive in the past? I don't know how we did it. Oh my goodness. Anyways, all right. Let's go ahead and move on into what's going on with technology. So we haven't talked about this in a while, and this seems to be brushed under the rug as of late that I've noticed, but did you guys know that the CBDC rollout is still happening all over the world? It is indeed still happening. I haven't heard much about this stuff recently. I wonder if there's other things going on that's distracting everybody from this beast system program that wants to get rolled out. Oh, yeah, that's right. Something to do with putting a checkbox on a piece of paper, or not a piece of paper anymore, but into a computer, which we've been promised that this time, even though everything has been so bad under Biden, but this time the election stuff has been fixed. Yes. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into CBDC. India's central bank governor advises gradual nationwide rollout as CBDC reaches 5 million users. India's got 5 million users that are actively using the CBDC program. The RBI launched pilots for both retail and wholesale CBDCs in late 2022. So if you guys don't know, just in case, there's two versions of a CBDC. There's the retail and the wholesale. Retail cannot work without the wholesale. It's just kind of how it works. The wholesale is what the reserve, whatever central bank it is in whatever country, they hold a CBDC, which backs the retail CBDC, which is the stuff that we would use to purchase things or put in the bank and that type of stuff. So India is one of the countries, one of the many countries that has rolled out both of their CBDC stuff. I also believe, I think I could be wrong, so don't take it. I believe India is part of the Bank for International Settlements Embridge project too. I think I probably should have looked that up, but I did not. I think so, though. It says India's central bank digital currency pilot has surpassed 5 million users, but Reserve Bank of India Governor Shaktikanka Das, it's the best I got, has cautioned against a hasty nationwide rollout. Why would he be doing that? Because we're not ready yet. Just slowly do it. We're getting there. Speaking at a conference in Bengaluru on Monday, Das emphasized the need for a gradual approach. The RBI launched pilots for both retail and wholesale CBDCs in late 2022, following the finance minister's announcement in the 2022 budget speech. By the end of 2023, the retail CBDC recorded over 1 million transactions in a single day, supported by participating banks. How many banks, you say? 16. 16 banks are involved in India's CBDC pilot. Currently, 16 banks are involved in the pilot, although specific daily transaction figures were not disclosed by Das, except for the one, in 2023 that said at 1 million in a day. Well, the RBI has consistently maintained that it is not in a rush to fully implement a retail CBDC. Das's latest remarks suggest a cautious stance. The actual introduction of CBDC can be phased in gradually, he said. It's crucial not to rush the system-wide rollout before gaining a comprehensive understanding of its impact on users, monetary policy, the financial system, and the broader economy. Okay, so I'm bringing this up because I know a lot of people, whenever I talk about something in like other countries like that, people tend to tune out, and it's like, well, that doesn't really affect us, but it does. It really does, because we're over here all just completely distracted by one thing that's going on, but ultimately that beast system is still rolling out. They count on people to be distracted in order for these types of things. Now, India is going full bore, pushing ahead with this stuff, as is a lot of other countries out there. They're going for it. A lot of them have them online right now. A lot of them are testing them. And that's the thing, is when they have a pilot system going, they've got it ready to go. They're just not ready to implement it for whatever reason that is. And you know, we see India, we see people like Turkey's got it going on, we see people like Russia, China, Brazil. These countries have got these CBDCs that are cooking. They're rolling with them, they're going for it. And so this is still very much in play, as much as we want to forget about it at times, and it's still very much in play. And this is part of the digital technocracy that is still pushing forward. And so this is, if there's anything I'm getting tired of, it's hearing the left say the right is fascists and the right is saying the left is communists, when neither one is actually true. We don't seem to have a true understanding of the political philosophy of those. We just throw them around at each other because they sound good. The fact is both the right and the left are very much in birthday party mode compared to what communism and fascism actually would be, if you want to take time to actually look into what those political systems are. What we are heading for, though, is something that I've said several years ago, and I still stand by it because it's what the Bible outlines for us, and what we can see in front of us is it's a neo-feudalistic technocracy. What we have going on is the construction of kings that will sit atop and control all of the peasants with their technology. And we see this beast system being built in front of us, and the CBDC is part of that. Gives them full control. Now, we understand all that. We've been through the idea of controlling through CBDC and all this type of stuff. But what we see going on is the advancement of more and more countries attaching them to carbon credit systems as well, which is another system that I think that we've forgotten about as well. This is like a two-tiered, from what we have the information so far, two-tiered monetary system where it's going to be functioned off of carbon credits as well as this stuff. And I just read something, I think it's Amazon in conjunction with like the Rockefeller Foundation and a couple other ones as well, where they're getting ready to start putting biosensors in like forests, national forests, but as well as like in other countries. I think they're talking about going to Africa and whatnot, where they're going to start attaching biosensors to plant life in order to start harvesting carbon credits through the plant life. This is something that I've talked about that they've been wanting to do for a long time, is they want to take nature and monetize it. They want to be able to gain power as well as monetary funds through just sitting nature. And they want to be able to go after land and nature that people already own, like farms, but they also want to be able to go after the ones sitting there. And so I believe that they're working on, I think it's Amazon. Again, I could be wrong on that one too. I read this a few days ago and I haven't looked into it since. But this is part of this new beast digital technocratic financial system that they want to do. Plus, we also know it's been known for a long time about the Microsoft patent 060606, which has to do with using body motion in order to track, sense, and deposit tokens into people's accounts, where it's going to be able to track the movement of the person. And if you accomplish a task, it will automatically give you the tokens for that. So we're seeing these different programs that they're trying to do when it comes to monetizing not only us, but also nature in itself and combining them together. And so that's kind of stuff that's hidden underneath announcements like this from India that has to do with CBDCs being rolled out. Now they're saying slowly. Obviously, they've got 5 million users already from what the news is telling us, but they're not ready yet to completely run the entire country on it. More countries are getting closer to that, though. They absolutely want to do it, including the countries that everybody says hates the West and they're at war with the WEF and stuff, but they're doing the exact same stuff, the exact same programs that the WEF, the World Economic Forum, and the UN and the Bank for International Settlements and World Bank and all these people are doing. For some reason, that disconnect is still there, where we continue to see people in countries that seem to be at war with that globalist agenda who are doing the exact same thing as the globalist agenda. Figure that one out. How is there a disconnect there? I don't believe that there is. And I've proven that before. People like Russia and China and all these countries that are still fully on board with the globalist agenda. And speaking of that, one of the ones that's going on with it happens to be Donald Trump, which again, he can do no wrong. He can do no wrong. But yet he announced, and I did a video about this where he said he wanted to create a U.S. Bitcoin reserve. Well, now he's come out and said he wants to make the United States the crypto capital of the world. Now, this is how it goes when it comes to the deception of what's going on. Where we're at, everybody says deception. Look at what's going on the left. There's no deception going on the left. We understand what the left is doing. That's not deception. The problem is deception is most used and most effective when it's in your own camp. And so I always look at it this way. If Biden came out and said, we want to make United States crypto capital of the world, everybody would say, oh, look, he's going for the digital currency. But yet when Trump says it, no, he's doing it because he wants to decentralize everything. And he's got his own thing where it has nothing to do with digital currency, even though he's wanting to do the digital currency stuff just through the Bitcoin and crypto. And it's just a quick little transfer from, hey, we're going to make this now the CBDC. So this is what I'm talking about when it comes to we must recognize what's going on underneath, and we must recognize that everything that's going on in front of us is a complete show. There's no disconnect between Russia and China not wanting to do the globalist agenda when every program that they're putting forth is part of the globalist agenda. Just like we can't disconnect when Trump says he wants a Bitcoin reserve and make the US the crypto capital of the world, that has nothing to do with switching us to a digital currency that can be tracked, traced, and turned off at any moment. What is the disconnect when it comes to this stuff? That's something that I've been trying to figure out, and I can't figure it out because it doesn't make any sense. No logical sense. You really have to do some manipulation in order to get to that point. And so that's just a little reminder when it comes to this stuff. This is very much the agenda on the plate for everybody in control at the moment. They're all working in lockstep. Remember lockstep? Going back to 2020, that was everybody's favorite word. Why have we forgotten that? Remember lockstep when even places like Russia and so forth and Turkey and you know, Iran, I don't know, Pakistan. Remember when they were following along with the globalist agenda as well? But there's no possible way that they could be a part of it, right? Right? I don't know. Just kind of interesting. Just thought I'd throw it out there. Okay. What do we? I dropped my pen. Hold on. I'm here. Okay, got my pen. Can't talk without my pen. I think Kurt Reed does the same thing. Doesn't Kurt always have a pen in his hand too? I think he does the same thing. I could be wrong. Let's see. Nicole Sterling, question: what do we do about Real ID? Do we get it or not? We're going to talk about that in just a second. So hang on to that. I don't want to jump ahead. Talk about that in just a second. Psych nurse, question: think those are drone mosquitoes? Oh my goodness, skeeter drones. I know they have little bug drones and stuff like that, but I don't think it's as like as wide as people tend to think it is. I think there's specific reasons for that stuff, but I don't think they're just unleashing them all over the place like some people say they are. So no, I think these could just be, because we know that they've got centers where they genetically grow and modify insects like mosquitoes and then release them. Go back, what is it, 2 years ago, I think, on the Florida coast, they actually released genetically modified mosquitoes that could go into the other wild mosquitoes and start taking the population of those mosquitoes down and it's sick what they do. It's playing God. It's just absolutely wrong. But no, I know they have that technology, but I don't think it's as widespread as people think. Justin Klein, are the CBDCs a tribulation era thing, and are we just experiencing the soft start? Because I'm one of those people where we don't know, and it's not a cop out. Hear me out. We don't know at this moment in time, from what we can see from the technology that they have and what they are rolling out, and what the Bible tells us in Revelation regarding, the economy, the one world economy. We can take an educated guess based on the information we have now and go, this could be that. But we don't know. Maybe they've got something else behind the scene. Maybe God's going to throw a monkey wrench into this thing and they'll think on their feet and transition to something else rather quickly, depending on maybe something else that they already have. But at this moment in time, it seems like the CBDC is going to be a part of it. But again, that's something that we just don't know. So we just got to watch. So we do have to just pay attention. That's what we do. We watch for these things and continue to keep an eye on this stuff. I think it's very dangerous. And we've seen this all throughout time. I think it's very dangerous to sit there and go, well, based on the information that we have right now, and it looks like it fits, this is obviously exactly what's going to happen. And how many times have we done that in the past? We could go back 50 years, but we'll just say in the past 2 years. How many times have we looked at something and goes, this is it? And then ultimately, oh, it wasn't it. But at this moment in time, based on the information we have, seeing that it does fit according to what Revelation says, it could be. So at this moment in time, I think it's something that we absolutely should be paying attention to. We absolutely should be paying attention to. Seal Moody, do you think Nasara is real in some form or size? I haven't looked at that. I just came across that this week, and I haven't looked at it. So get back to you. I'll get back to you. Mark Collins, question. I'm guessing, will we be gone before all this happens, or do I need to buy some more canned food? I mean, it's always good to have canned food. Nothing wrong with that. Again, if you don't eat it, then whoever busts into your place looking for supplies and stuff, they can do it. Again, it's just I hold to Matthew 24 because I believe it fits in more ways than one regarding the days of Noah, and it's going to be like the days of Noah, and then will be taken. One will be taken, one will be left. And how was the days of Noah? Well, it describes in Matthew 24, it talks about, well, people are going to be eating and drinking and marrying and giving in marriage and, partying, going about their everyday life. And then all of a sudden, everything is going to come. And something I've said when it comes to the financial situation is it's not something that they can just destroy part of it and then put something in and then kind of go from there. They have to take down the entire global financial system all at the same time in order to bring in the brand new global financial system. And that is a earth-shaking, absolutely life-changing event that doesn't fit in line with the days of Noah. So I believe that this financial transition into the new financial system is something that we will not see as the church. And I base that off of Matthew 24, and I hold firm to my study on Matthew 24. I know many people disagree with me. That's fine. But I hold firm to it. I've made my case on it several times. And so I believe the financial system transition is something that we will not see because it doesn't fit with what's Matthew 24. Anyways, along with that, I still think, go ahead. If you got some spare bucks, buy some canned food and keep it on hand. It's always good. It's always good to have that. So, all right, let's go ahead and get into what's going on when it comes to digital ID and all this type of stuff, kind of going along with Nicole's question on this. So let's go ahead and jump on into this. Okay. First up, this is coming from a news source I've never heard of. And this seems to be, from what I have seen and looked around, it seems pretty legit based on what we know from past history of what the administration is trying to do, along with other laws and bills that they've been trying to go along with, and kind of looking around at some of the other news that they got on there. They seem to be up to snuff. But this is the main source that said they got to look at a bill that the Biden administration is trying to put forth to speed up the transition for digital driver's licenses. So I'm just throwing it out there. This isn't necessarily a news source that I know, but from the stuff that I've looked at, I tend to believe what this says. And so, but again, do your own research. Don't take my word for it. Always be active in your own walk and in your own research as well. So let's go ahead and go with this. Coming from Notice. Says states are beginning to adopt digital driver's licenses. Biden may supercharge that transition. Says a draft executive order viewed by Notice shows how the Biden administration could reshape how Americans access government services and potentially behave online. I've got a lot to say about this. It says the Biden administration is laying the groundwork for wider acceptance of digital identifications like driver's licenses you can show on your smartphone, a push that could fundamentally reshape how citizens access everything from public benefits to even pornography online. A draft of a forthcoming executive order viewed by Notice pushes federal and state governments to speed adoption of smartphone-based mobile driver's licenses and ID options more widely, stating it is the policy of the executive branch to strongly encourage the use of digital identity documents. Such documents could be submitted digitally and, in combination with biometric scans like facial recognition, could help better verify online identity. The draft order, if implemented, could ostensibly address a growing problem. The government has, here we go. We get the boo-hoo story. The government has lost billions of dollars in fraudulent claims. Oh my goodness. What are we going to do? I'm just crying tears over here. Oh, yeah, they want us to feel bad for the government losing all that money. Oh my goodness. Anyways. They always try and do that. It says it would also mandate federal agencies adopt a single government-run identity system, login.gov. I already know some of you guys are already having to use that gateway as a gateway to federal websites and offer that system to state and local governments for integration. Already, 13 states have rolled out some kind of mobile driver's license program, and more are working towards implementing a digital ID, but federal action pushing the transition has been delayed. Joe Biden first promised an executive order in his 2022 State of the Union address, but it has been stuck in a bureaucratic turf war over what it should include. 4 people familiar with the matter said the text of the executive order has been finalized, but the Biden administration was debating when to roll it out. One person obtained what they said was the final text of the order from a federal agencies this week and provided it to Notice. The second person confirmed that many of the provisions matched a summary that circulated among stakeholders within recent months, and that a draft provided to Notice incorporated some changes sought by agencies and industry. See, that's the thing, is usually when they have this stuff going on is they're still trying to make sure that they cover all their bases, not just in the government, like a lot of people think it is. The left and the right are fighting because the right doesn't want that much privacy gone and the left. It has nothing to do with that. No, it has to do with going to their banks, bankers, going to their corporations, going to other industry leaders in order to confirm what they need in this bill as well. Keep that in mind. Whenever it comes to stuff like this, it is never the left-right disagreeing on this stuff. It has to do with making sure that they get all of this stuff covered from the people who are truly in control of the puppets that sit within Congress. So keep that in mind. And that's what's going on here, is they want to make sure that they got all the bases covered, from banks to corporations to industry, people like Amazon, Microsoft, IBM, people like that. That's who they're checking in with. So keep that in mind. Said a White House spokesperson said nothing is final until it's signed by the president. And it says a growing number of states are passing laws requiring age verification to view adult-themed websites or sign up for social media accounts, but few good solutions exist currently to implement those laws. The result is growing interest in creating a form of digital ID to use on the web, ending decades of a freewheeling internet architecture. It's not much freewheeling anymore, is it? In which, can't say it, being anonymous and age verification were largely on the honor system or reliant on low-quality smartphone scans of physical driver's licenses. Today, physical licenses are fairly easy to forge. According to a notice review of dark web material provided by researchers, some in the industry who study identity theft, the development of AI deepfake technology, this is a big one, that allows criminals to hide their real faces when submitting forged or stolen documents to systems that require a selfie or online video has only accelerated the scale and the scope of identity theft. Last but not least, says the issue was accelerated during the pandemic when government agencies had to migrate many services that were previously in-person to web-based systems. This is, again, 2020 was not just about one or two individual things. We are seeing another repercussion because it had to do with the switch over to digital stuff. And so now we're seeing the same thing here where, well, because we're becoming more digital and everything is becoming more online, we got to be able to take away the privacy. And so we got to advance the digital ID. It's all wrapped up in the same thing, same package. The Government Accountability Office estimated that more than 100 billion, with a B, billion in fraudulent unemployment claims, again, we lost so much money, were paid out between March 2020 and March 2023, representing somewhere between 11% and 15% of all benefits paid out, though not all of it was through identity theft. Apple, Google, government agencies like the Transportation Security Administration, and state-level regulators who issue driver's licenses are all trying to build systems that would allow Americans to carry identity documents on their smartphones and frictionlessly, that's a very weird word to say, submit them to both government and private sector websites for verification with the tap of the button. Eat the bugs while you're at it. Okay. There's a lot here. We're going to go through it, though. So, like I said, I already addressed when it comes to the reason why it's not ruled out yet. They obviously they have to be able to work in conjunction with people like Apple and Google, along with people like Amazon and Microsoft and IBM and these other computing processing things. Even people like JP Morgan, which we understand JP Morgan is working on their own thing when it comes to the digital ID payment stuff. You see something like Visa, they got theirs going on. MasterCard's got theirs going on. And so they have to work with these people in order to make sure that they get everything that they need to for that bill in order to roll it out and make sure that it all runs. Again, it has nothing to do with left-right fighting over privacy stuff. And that's one of the things that I want to talk about. In this article, it specifically references states rolling out security measures to get into things like adult websites or even signing up for social media platforms and whatnot. I have warned about this. I warned about this like a year and a half ago, when people like Josh Hawley and some of the other right congressmen that many prophecy people love started coming out with things in order to protect the kids. We need to start doing online verification. And guess what? All of the right wingers started applauding and pumping their fists going, yeah, because they were pulling at the heartstrings of them saying it's for the kids. But ultimately, it has nothing to do with protecting the kids. It has to do with this. It's just their show pony way of introducing the digital ID. We want your privacy. We want to know who you are at all times online, cannot hide yourself, infrastructure. And they're using the heartstrings for whatever side it is. Left has their own values that they're throwing this stuff to on their side to make them on board for it. The right is doing the same thing when it comes to this. And this is exactly what I warned about when it comes to this technology. As I said, they're going to come after people for the values that they hold, and it's all going to be for the exact same agenda. The exact same agenda. They want digital IDs. So if you want to access anything online, you're going to have to verify who you are, and there's nothing you can do about it. They're just playing the game. It's the same piece of pie, but the left is introducing it with no Cool Whip, and the right is introducing it with some Cool Whip, but it's still the same pie. They're just being displayed in different ways. And so this is exactly what I've warned about when it comes to this. And so we've got the Biden administration here who is cooking stuff up behind to make this thing ramp up and start pushing into digital IDs even faster. Now, when it comes to things like the Real ID and stuff like that, people ask me, well, what should I do? Well, it's ultimately your choice. You could go for it. The information that you're going to give them, they've already got anyways. As much as people don't like to hear that, they've got it anyways. So it's up to you if you want to give it up, or you could just take the risk and go throughout life without one. And hopefully if you drive and you don't get pulled over and you don't need an ID for anything, that's ultimately your choice. So I can't tell you what to do on that. That's a personal decision that you got to do. So it's up to you. But ultimately it's not going to matter for much longer because the goal is to just switch it over into the digital ID system anyways. What is it? What was the other thing? Hold on. There's another point I wanted to make and I forgot it. I didn't write it down. I can't remember. See, this is what happens when I don't write stuff down, guys. This is why I got a notebook. Then I got to sit here and look like a dummy while I'm trying to remember what I was going to say. And I'm just randomly talking into the microphone to keep you guys entertained. Try to figure it out. I can't remember. Oh, the AI stuff. That's right. Okay, I see it. The AI stuff. See, this is a part of the other agenda that they're trying to do, is because when they continue to roll out more and more AI stuff that continues to get heavy into the deep fake. Again, I've talked about this before. I've shown some stuff. You just can't tell what's real and fake anymore. Now, there's some stuff you can, a lot of it you can still, because the lighting and the shading, you can kind of see. It's not as easy as it was where you just look at the hands and stuff. But still, when it comes to the video and stuff, we can't trust any of that. And the thing is they are using this AI stuff to commit stuff, problems like this, where submit a picture of who you are, along with your document, but they can just do an AI fake of that, even AI video for the live selfie, where you actually have to take like a short little video of who you are to determine. You can still use the fake AI stuff for it. And I've even talked about how they've got programs out there where they used an AI voice modulator to make it sound like somebody's daughter was kidnapped and they needed money in order to get their daughter back. And it was all AI done. And when the mother actually called the daughter, she was perfectly fine, had no idea what was going on because it was a program. So when you introduce that much of that technology, well, obviously they're going to need to figure out a way to take more of your privacy and more of your data to make it so it's more secure. It's all in the name of safety and security, but ultimately this is what's going on. And of course, who's one of the people that's leading the charge about this? Well, it's everybody's favorite free speech warrior, Elon Musk. Excuse me for this one, but I still see people in the prophecy community promoting and supporting Elon Musk because he's Mr. Free Speech. He's not. You know how many people have been banned and are being banned on Twitter even to this day? But they completely ignore everything else that he's doing. We know about Neuralink, which he's not the first to do that. I've made this point before because I know people still get excited whenever there's any information about Neuralink. It's like, oh, could this be? And I'm like, I just did a thing on the Cyber series on the MK Ultra thing. They were working on that back in the 60s. He's not new. It's just because his name is attached to it. Is it bad? It's still bad. He wants to stick chips in people's brains. But then he's got stuff like the CureVac. We know CureVac has to do with, it's a 2020 stuff printer for printing things, you know. Can't say it because I'm on YouTube. But he's also got his AI stuff that he's working on. Also, did you know in order to get verified and paid for Twitter stuff, you have to upload your ID and bank account information in order to do that? What makes that any different than what they're trying to do with all this stuff? It doesn't. Again, this is the case of why on earth is it different for this guy, even though he's doing the exact same stuff as the globalist? What makes him so different? Because he's standing there on his keyboard typing for free speech, and he's for this, and he's pro-Trump, and that makes him okay, even though he's doing the exact same stuff that the globalists want to do. Why is that so different? I still cannot understand the disconnect there. Like, I just don't get it. I still see people promoting this guy. And I see it all over the place. And I posted this on my Telegram, but I wanted to throw it up on here too, where you've got two of the fringe right guys who have made their pro-Trump, anti-left, and they put some information out that looks good. It's truthful, but ultimately they're there just to kind of keep the left-right paradigm war going on. The Hodge twins and Ian Carroll. But it says, Hodge twins, y'all realize we wouldn't have free speech online if Elon Musk didn't buy Twitter, right? And then this guy says, genuinely might have been the most important chess move for freedom in my lifetime. What are you, 3 years old? Like, that's how shallow the pool is when it comes to this. And then, of course, you got the lizard people. It says, when remember then we made the brain chip guy their new hero? It's because it's this display that's being put on. I kind of talked about this last Tuesday when I went over the Telegram guy who has connections to the WEF, being a young global leader. Now, again, I'm not planting my flag saying he's good or bad or anything like that. But from the stuff that I've seen, I can't trust the guy. It's the same thing with Elon Musk. How can I trust this guy? Because he's sitting there going pro free speech. This is another one of those distraction things along with the politics that's going on. It's very much an agenda that's being done. I'm not saying that it's some fake thing of censorship online. It's absolutely getting done, but it's being so broadcast and so pushed to the front of the pack now that if anybody says something in favor of it, they ignore everything going on behind the person because it's just that one thing that they're keying in on. And when it comes to digital ID and this agenda for the AI and all this stuff, he's very much on board with it. But yet people are completely forgetting that. Keep in mind, this dude still has his profile picture of him wearing the Satan suit from that Halloween. Another one of these things that's going on with this is the anti-immigration position will milk this with everything they've got. Now, this is another situation of problem, reaction, solution. They've created an immigrant problem, and so they are going to react to it by giving a solution that has to do with putting in facial recognition, digital IDs, and AI tracking systems. So what we've got, and I talked about this, I think this was 2 Tuesdays ago, about how they want to turn on the facial recognition and AI aging program for immigrant children coming over the border so they can keep track of them. And doesn't matter if it's been several years, they're going to use this AI program in order to age up the person in order to verify if that's the right person. They want to do this. Guess who else wants to do the exact same thing? Don't make me say it. Donald Trump wants to do the exact same thing. Now, this is the perfect thing because when you look at it, you go, he's just trying to defend the border. Cool. But the problem is the technology and the tools that he wants to put in is not just going to be used for the border. It's going to be used everywhere because he wants a biometric facial recognition visa tracking system for all people coming in and out of the country. He said that on his last platform. And we look at it and go, it's just for the immigration thing. But I'm seeing you go throughout history, anytime they implement this type of stuff, it's not just for the thing that they say it's for. It ends up getting thrown onto everybody. And it's the same thing here. He's for the exact same technology and agenda as what the Biden administration is doing with this. I can guarantee you, if he gets in, this thing that Biden is doing, whether it goes online or not, will not go away. It will still get pushed through. He won't cancel it. And so it's the same thing with all this technology. And it's we've seen it progress. We've seen it progress. It doesn't matter who's in there. The agenda is going to go forward. Why? Because it's all one big giant show, and it's all to get this stuff going forward. And that includes the digital ID as well as the CBDC and all this stuff. Again, he's for the exact same program as the left is for theirs. It's just one piece of pie doesn't have whipped cream, the other does. It's still the same stuff. Not to mention, we understand that he's got his Silicon Valley techno bros of Vance Teal and Eric Schmidt, of course, that are all on board because why? They created this stuff. They funded this stuff. And they're on board. Elon Musk has even come out and said, I'm open for a position on the Trump administration. Wonder why that is. Because digital enslavement is the focus. The agenda is still the same, but we're just being distracted by piñatas and confetti of the left-right show being put in front of us. And it's hard. It's hard because I continue to see people that just absolutely refuse to not even just see this stuff, but they don't even want to talk about it. They just don't want to talk about it. Why? Because that would be damaging for the agenda that they have of pushing for their political pundit, their political puppet, so to say. I just, I know I still got a bunch of people that say, I'm tired of you talking about this, but you know what? I'm tired of everybody else not talking about it. Just being honest. I'm tired of everybody else talking about it or not talking about it. My mom's got a question. So what do you do if you already got the real ID? Just hang on to it. Use it when you need to use it. That's really what it is. I mean, they've got it. They've already got everything else on you as well. So you've already got it. So just hang on to it and live your life. Continue to do what you're supposed to be doing. Nothing you can do to change it. So just roll with it. Nothing to worry about. This is temporary. We are in a temporary place and temporary bodies. Got nothing to worry about. Lord's watching over us. Mark Collins. Question, do you think our digital phones have already given away most of our personal... Yes. Oh, yeah. I'm told the phone is always on and they can hear you and see you. Yep. Absolutely. This thing is spyware. What it is, and we all use it. We all actively use it. Like, you know how some people have like Alexa and stuff in their house and all that stuff. They literally bought spyware to put into their house to spy on them. That's ultimately what's going on. Same thing with the phone. It's spyware. If you're using any bit of technology, doesn't matter what it is, any bit of technology, they are grabbing your information 24/7. And yes, the phone is always listening to you even when it's off, because it's not really off. Keep that in mind. Only way it's truly off, take out the battery, take out the SIM card. And even then, it'll take a while because there's still some juice running through the phone. So keep that in mind. Let's see here. Neardo Andrew, question: the apartments that were taken by the gangs, was that part of the country disarmed for the children? Was that part of the country disarmed for the children? I'm not quite sure if I understand the question. If you're talking about I've been looking into this, by the way. I actually kept this thing up on my computer because I figured somebody might ask me about it. If you guys are talking about the Venezuela gangs that took over in the apartments in Colorado, there's something fishy about what's going on with that, because I don't have anything to show you because I didn't do any of that stuff, but I have it up on my computer. The apartments that were taken over was actually against a slumlord who has he was actually getting ready to go to court for some stuff. It's a guy by the name, the owner of the thing is a guy by the name of Zev Baumgarten, who claimed Venezuelan gangs took over his property. He can now, and basically the judge said he can now resolve outstanding code charges until February 14th. before the Venezuelan gangs moved in there, he was getting ready to go to court for what is it, 80 something code violations for his place, his apartment complex, including infestations, backed up sewage, piles up of trash, and hundreds of residents were evicted in the process. 81 charges. So he had 81 charges, and he was going to go to court on September 5th. Then, out of nowhere, he had Venezuelan gangs come in, and the judge said, we can push that back until February. So there's something fishy with the whole thing. Now, we do understand there is a country takeover with all the gangs coming in. But this could have been something where slumlord may have worked something out with giving housing to the Venezuelan thing. So I'm looking into that guy. I'm looking into what's going on because apparently he's had a whole bunch of other apartment complexes in various parts of the country. I want to see what's going on. He's notorious for being a gang slumlord type of environment guy. So there's something interesting about that. So if I come across anything in my stuff, I'll make sure I do something about it. But it's just one of those things that make you go, if that makes sense. So something very, very off with that. In his image, Katie question, Zach, why are the Bible prophecy teachers who are voting only talk about Trump's abortion issues and never mention his gay agenda? It's the same question of why they never talk about anything else that Trump has done either. I have sent this information to several people. I'm not giving out any names. Don't even try and figure out who it is. Don't ask me. I'm not telling you. I've tried to communicate with some people sending out information, usually met with silence, and I just don't get anything back. It's just, again, they have their guy, and they want to make sure that they protect their guy, and so they don't want to go any further with that. You have to ask them why they don't want to ever talk about that stuff. I don't know. Mountain Sky is the real ID is the newer driver's license. Yeah, it's the newer one. It's got some like biometric stuff on there and some other stuff. Yeah, if you do a search, it'll pull up with the stuff that you're looking for. Always Dritten tour. I'm not sure. It's kind of weird looking. Research. What research have you found, or have you found anything about genetically modified mosquitoes that were released a few years ago? The spraying will affect our precious needed bees. Yeah, we know that there has been a war on the bees for a while. And that's not a joke. They actually have declared war on the bees. They want to eliminate bees. Why? Because bees are extremely important to keeping things alive, the plant life alive. And so they've been going after the bees for a very long time. But yeah, I've talked about the genetically modified mosquitoes like they just released in Florida. I think that was like 2 years ago, that were doing damage and stuff. So this is definitely insect warfare, to say the least, when it comes to that. So I think I got all of them. I don't mean to skip anybody. I don't mean to skip anybody. So I apologize if I do. All right, let's go ahead and get into the supercomputer. Let's see here. Musk's wonderful supercomputer. So I don't know how many people have seen this. Yes, Mr. Free Speech guy. Yeah. Elon Musk says XAI, that's his AI company, by the way, is training the most powerful AI in the world in Memphis, in our own back door or backyard. Can you believe that? XAI's progress at its new Memphis data center is the fastest that anyone has ever gotten a supercomputer to train, Musk said. Says Elon Musk, this is coming from July of this year, but he got it up and operational. I'll show that in just a second. Said Elon Musk's startup XAI has already begun training AI models at its new supercomputing center in Memphis, Tennessee, according to the billionaire. Plans for the facility, which use thousands of NVIDIA graphics processing units or GPUs, your graphics card, to train new versions of XAI chatbot Grok, a competitor to OpenAI's ChatGPT, were initially announced in June. Keep in mind, he just released Grok 2, and the images and video that are coming out are holy Toledo. Holy potato, to say the least. This is getting very dangerous. We have no idea what's real and what's not. This is nice work by the XAI team, X team, NVIDIA, and supporting companies using Memphis supercluster training. Started at 4:20 local time. Its Memphis Supercomputing Center is a key aspect of XAI's plan to gain on other generative AI companies, which were also pouring billions into developing data centers across the country to boost the development and training of their AI models. XAI was able to get training underway at its center in 19 days after beginning installation, according to Musk, who claimed this is the fastest that anyone has ever got it to train. This other one, another article says Musk XAI supercomputer goes online with 100,000 of the GPUs. This is coming from September 3rd, so today. And then we got a tweet here from Elon Musk from yesterday. It says, this week, the XAI team brought our Colossus, which is the supercomputer, 100,000 H100 training cluster online from start to finish. It was done in 122 days. Colossus is the most powerful AI training system in the world. Moreover, it will double in size to 200,000 in a few months. And it says the Colossus supercomputer will expand over time. And Musk built the facility for XAI, his latest startup, which is focused on creating generative AI technology, including the controversial pro-free speech chatbot Grok. By assembling hundreds of thousands of GPUs together, XAI is aiming to accelerate training for Grok and other AI projects to unlock new capabilities and improvements. So again, this is everybody's favorite free speech guy. Remember when that little paper petition came out about how we need to have more control on AI, and Elon Musk was on there and everybody was saying, hey, look, he's so good. He sees the dangers of AI and he wants to slow it down. He just put up his AI training supercomputer, the fastest that anybody's ever done it. Again, why are we just looking at what they say? Why are we not looking at what they do? And this is part of that deception of we have no idea what is going on. He's also contributing to the problem of that's going on when it comes to getting digital IDs online. Well, AI is exploding so fast. So we need to be able to create privacy destroying programs like digital ID in order to combat the AI. Well, guess who's the guy behind it? It's Elon Musk. And so, yes, Grok 2 was just released. It's a lot more deceptive when it comes to this. And this is, I pointed this out because it's talking about Memphis. Tennessee has been the hub when it comes to getting this technological stuff rolling pretty hardcore. I've talked about Chattanooga, which was one of the main central places when it comes to establishing not only the smart cities. They want to turn Chattanooga into a smart city, but that's also the central hub for all of the quantum computing networking lines that they're trying to spread across the United States right now. That is the central hub. They've got a training center to get people trained for quantum computing and installing the technology, as well as they've got projects up and running to get the smart city going on quantum, as well as getting lines laid all across the United States to make sure every other spot can get quantum as well. So we've got this supercomputer sitting in the back door of the quantum, or the backyard of the quantum computing central hub for the United States, which you don't think he's going to tap into that when that's ready to go. Again, not to mention Musk is in connection for Trump's Manhattan projects, which I talked about that on my Trump card video. As well as we understand that Trump wants to make America first in AI. Well, again, the same technology that is absolutely destroying everything American and wanting to get rid of privacy is the same thing that Trump wants to make America first in. Kind of amazing how that works. But no, that's not bad. No, he's going to use it for good, right? Yeah. Along with that, when it comes to this AI stuff, supercomputers, data centers are part of what's going on. And so I came across this. I just thought it was pretty interesting because we're starting to see this a lot more now. And it's talking about Maryland. They're protesting the AI data center. I can speak English, I promise. Protesting AI data center power lines as eminent domain threatens small farms. And it says a power line battle is unfolding across the Mason-Dixon, a demarcation line separating Pennsylvania and Maryland, as 10,000 Marylanders in a Facebook group are raising heck about failed green energy policies by the far-left Annapolis lawmakers. These policies now lead to the rising probability that eminent domain will be used to seize small farms to construct and expand transmission cables to increase load capacity to power new artificial intelligence data centers. Developer Public Service Enterprise Group is seeking to install 70 miles of the new high voltage power lines and zigzag through Baltimore, Carroll, and Frederick counties in a project called Maryland Piedmont Reliability Project. The upgraded transmission lines will increase load capacity in the state by importing power from the surrounding states, such as Pennsylvania, to power AI data centers in Frederick. It goes on to talk, but we don't necessarily need to go over that. But basically what's going on with this is this was part of this quote unquote green project that they initially introduced. And now they're going to put these power lines on these property that they don't own, farmland. And now it's going to be used as eminent domain to take over that land because of the law and the power lines that are going to be sitting there. And now they're all the farmers are saying no. And they're starting to fight back or protest, at least. That's not really fighting back. That's, again, best description of protesting I've ever heard is a slave. Whenever they're protesting, they're asking for more slack in the chain that they have around their neck. And that's ultimately what we see going on here. But still, what we're seeing is the expansion in the name of green and in the name of technology in order to take land away, as well as continue to develop the data center infrastructure that's needed for all the stuff that they're doing. So I thought that was fascinating. I thought I would throw that in there because that's becoming more and more relevant, not only here in the United States, but all over the world. And we see like all the stuff that was going on in the Netherlands with all the farmland and stuff like that. It's all about getting more data centers online for these types of things as well. And so we see the advancement of these centers, this AI stuff, as well as the power lines, the infrastructure, and they're willing to just take anybody's property to do it, as well as AI and data centers are connected to networks that also allow digital twin technology in the home to spy via router signals. The bigger that they can expand the AI technology and get it more up and running all across the country in a more physical area. We have it now when it comes to online stuff, but they want more of the physical going on. They're able to access more and more of our private life. Now, I did a breakdown on this entire conference about a year ago, but I took a clip out of it because I think it's relevant to this. That has to do with AI using your router as a camera in your home. And so basically AI is able to tap into a router and use radio signals off of it that bounce around your room to predict and determine where you are in your house at all times. And so when you see infrastructure like this increasing, it's because they want to increase things like this. Take a look.
How about, can we go from Wi-Fi radio signals, sort of like the Wi-Fi routers in your house, they're bouncing off radio signals that work sort of like sonar. Can you go from that to where human beings are, to images? So what they did is they had, a camera looking at a space with people in it. That's sort of like coming in from one eye. The other eye is the radio signals, so sonar from the Wi-Fi router. And they just learned to predict, like, this is where the human beings are. Then they took away the camera. So all the AI had was the language of radio signals bouncing around a room. And this is what they're able to reconstruct. Real-time 3D pose estimation, right? So suddenly AI has turned every Wi-Fi router into a camera that can work in the dark, specially tuned for tracking living beings.
Stuff that you only thought happens in the movies is actually happening now. The technology is working that way. By using radio signals from your router, internet router, and bouncing around the room, it can now predict and determine where you are or anybody is in your house at all times. This is part of the digital twin technology that has to do with creating a digital twin reality of the world and you, and it's real-time living simulation. It's always real time. And so the reason why they want to advance this type of technology, they want to advance AI and the different spy programs, facial recognition. They need all these data centers, is because they have technology that's able to determine where you are at all times, feed that information into the AI, and the AI can then feed it into the digital twin simulation. So right now, wherever you're at, whatever you're doing right now, there's another version of you, a digital version of you that is in their simulation running the program. And it's always watching, and that information is getting fed into that program. And so whenever you're moving or whatever you're doing, like right now, my digital twin in their program is literally sitting at my desk talking to the camera, because all of the information that it has, it's able to feed to that. And so it's simulating that. And they use that and they run it all the time because they're able to predict your movements at all time. Remember 2020, when everybody went into lockdown and they were collecting all this data and everything? They were determining and feeding their program to predict how you will react and feeding that information to the digital twin system. And so this is part of the technology. This is why they want to advance it. This is one of the main reasons they want to do it. So they have predictive information. So whatever agenda that they put forward, whatever they introduce, they have a strong idea of how people are going to react to do it. Whenever you see things happen in the real world, I don't know, like an assassination attempt, they're able to do stuff like that because they have already calculated how people are going to react to that situation. How have they done that? All of the information that they've gathered over your years of living have been fed into this, and they can determine how you're going to react to do according to that type of stuff. And this is part of the technology system. This is getting into the more, tinfoil hat type of stuff. People still think that this is all fake and a joke and doesn't exist, but it's ultimately what's going on. It's how they do this stuff. They've admitted this stuff. I even had a video clip that I showed. This was 2 years ago, I think, even longer. Showed a video clip of a guy at a CERN conference. Everybody knows CERN, right? At a CERN conference, talking about this digital twin technology, saying it exists and we are using it all day, every day, 24/7. And so this is real stuff that's going on. And so when they continue to do this, you have people like Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, JD Vance, Eric Schmidt, all of the people on the left, all of the people on the right, including Donald Trump, that are all on board pushing this exact same technology and data programming. But again, lesser of two evils, right? Sorry, just had to, I'm not sorry. Throw it out there. And last but not least, we've got ourselves some stuff when it comes to 6G. That's right, 6G, not 5G. 6G. You guys ready for 6G? Because they're getting ready for it on their end. Let's take a look, shall we? Coming from a place Study Finds. Yeah, don't let the fact check thing throw you off. It's not. This is a good place. I get a lot of information here, and it all turns out to be true. So don't let because I know that instantly throws people off. Don't worry. It says 6G revolution begins. Researcher achieve record-breaking data speeds. Coming out of Japan, it says the road to 6G wireless network just got a little smoother. Scientists have made a significant leap forward in terahertz technology, potentially revolutionizing how we communicate in the future. An international team has developed a tiny silicon device that could double the capacity of wireless networks, bringing us closer to the promise of 6G and beyond. To infinity and beyond, right? Imagine a world where you could download an entire season of your favorite show in seconds, or where virtual reality, remember the digital twin stuff I just talked about? Where virtual reality feels as real as reality. Keep in mind, what have we heard from people like, I don't know, Ray Kurzweil about the singularity? They want to make it so you don't know where reality ends and the virtual world begins. I've shown RAND reports where they're talking about how they want to make the virtual reality so real that people don't know if they're living in the real world or in the virtual world. And they want to make it so whatever happens in the real world affects the virtual world, and whatever happens in the virtual world then reflects the real world. This is exactly what it's referencing when it comes to 6G. And basically says this is what the scientists believe terahertz technology can potentially bring to the world. Their work is published in the journal Laser and Photonics Review. Says this tiny marvel, a silicon chip smaller than a grain of rice, operates in a part of the electromagnetic spectrum that most of us have never heard of, the terahertz range. Think of the electromagnetic spectrum as a vast highway of information. We're currently cruising along in relatively slow lanes of 4G and 5G. Terahertz technology, that's the express lane, promising speeds that make our current networks look like horse-drawn carriages in comparison. Terahertz waves occupy a sweet spot in the electromagnetic spectrum between microwaves and infrared light. Hang on to that, infrared light. Talk about that in a second. They've long been seen as a promising frontier for wireless communication because they can carry vast amount of data. However, harnessing this potential has been challenging due to technical limitations. So still, the researchers say it's not just about speed. This device is incredibly versatile. This information not only enhances the efficiency of terahertz communication systems, but also paves the way for more robust, reliable, high-speed wireless networks. The implications of this technology stretch far beyond Netflix downloads. We're talking about advancements that could revolutionize augmented reality, enable seamless remote surgery, or create virtual worlds so immersive you might forget that they're not real. We anticipate that within the next 1 to 2 years, researchers will begin to explore new applications and refine the technology. They've already got it. If they're telling us that they're working on it, they've already got it. Keep that in mind. So while you may not find a terahertz chip in your next smartphone upgrade, don't be surprised if, in the not too distant future, you're streaming holographic video calls or controlling smart devices with your mind. How would you do that? A BCI, brain computer interface, brain chip. The terahertz revolution is coming, and it's bringing a future that's faster, more connected, and more exciting than we ever imagined. You take AI, which is a supernatural computing system. You take quantum computing, which is a supernatural computing system, and you hook it up to Starlink, which is a giant blanket, a giant web over the entire Earth right now, and you connect that up with 6G speed. What have you got? Danger Will Robinson. Danger Will Robinson. Okay, a couple things when it comes to 6G. One, we understand how damaging 5G is to the human body. Just imagine what 6G is going to be like. They're going to be cooking. They're going to be cooking people. You think people are sick all the time now? Just wait. One of the downfalls to this, though, that I've looked into when it comes to terabytes, or not terabytes, terahertz. That's right, terahertz. Is it has to have a line of sight, and the distance isn't very long, which means there would need to be some type of system that allows constant view and connection for it to communicate. It's not as long range and can't just like go through walls and stuff. So I don't that's way beyond my pay grade to figure out how they've done it or will do it. I don't know. But I find that interesting. So I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work. So it has to have that line of sight, and the distance can't be too long. So that's what I've read when it comes to terahertz. So that's interesting. The other thing is I always remind people whenever we talk about 6G, whenever we talk about how are they going to power this technology, 6G can use human body energy in order to power things. I've talked about this in the past on past shows. I showed it in the Showtime episode that I did for The Matrix, where they have technology. 6G can be used using the lights, using LED lights, which they're putting those everywhere, and they want to build smart cities out of, by using a simple band on the human, can take human energy and power electronics. And so I've talked about how that's what they want to do. They want to use us as batteries to power this stuff. This is real. This isn't crazy stuff, because I know people are like, okay, this dude's out of his mind. No, this is real. And so it's interesting that they want to do this. The other thing, you guys know where I'm going with this. Yeah, this was back in 2019. If you guys don't believe me, Trump wants 6G internet as soon as possible. He says, I want 5G and even 6G technology in the United States as soon as possible. It is far more powerful, faster, and smarter than the current standard. American companies must set up their efforts or get behind. There's no reason that we should be lagging behind on this. Yeah. You don't think that he still doesn't want to do that, especially since he's got his team of Silicon Valley techno bros behind him? Keep in mind, he was also the one back in 2019. He had a technology forum with his cabinet, and he said, we need to make it so force 5G tower rollouts in a matter of a couple months rather than a couple years. He was pushing for the technology advancement as well. Just thought I'd throw it out there. So when you have stuff like smart cities, BCIs, brain computer interfaces, brain chips, faster AI coming in, things like the quantum stuff that they want to do, but also the AI technology and all of the facial recognition, androids and robotics are advancing as well. CBDCs, digital IDs, they will all be able to be improved through 6G infrastructure, make everything run faster, smoother, and quicker. Again, I don't know how they're going to do the line of sight thing. They probably already got it figured out. Again, that's way above my pay grade when it comes to this. But ultimately, what I'm trying to say is the advancement of this technology is still going forth. And this is stuff that not only me, but many in the prophecy community have been warning about, talking about how horrific it is, how the Antichrist is going to use it, and all this stuff for years. But now all of a sudden, poof, it's gone. Nobody wants to talk about it. Why? Because their guy that they like, who's in full support of implementing this stuff and getting it done, that makes them look bad. I don't mean to turn it in that thing. It's just I'm getting so tired of people refusing to talk about stuff that we need to be talking about. How short is our memory? That's for sure. So just thought I'd throw that out there. All right, last bit for questions. Let's see here. Vindo, ready for Skynet? Are you all ready for Skynet? They're coming after you. That's what they want, man. That's what they want. Ready to be raptured. Where can I purchase a Sasha? You can't have Sasha. There's only one Sasha. No, it depends on what state you live in. Find what you want online, or go into a shop that has what you want. If you're online, you need to set up, make sure you communicate with an FFL licensed guy so you can get it shipped to them, and then you can buy it through there, and that's how you do it. It's not that hard. You just look it up online and they'll be able to get it, but you can't have Sasha. There's only one Sasha, and she's mine. Let's see, Southern Sunshine. So a VPN won't help because of the router. Well, a VPN will help you if you want to see content that's blocked in your region. For now, I know that they're working on stuff to crack down on that. It'll help for that. But as far as them spying on you physically, no, VPN's not going to protect you because that's a physical thing that's being done. That's not an online thing. So yeah, you'll be able to throw your ping location to somewhere else. But as far as physically being able to see, yeah, no, the VPN won't protect you from that. Joe Mama, who is Sasha? That's Sasha back there. Let's see here. Oh, Kelly, I missed your question. Sorry. What do you think of Trump wanting to build a dome in the U.S.? Man, well, he wants the Iron Dome system. If that's what you're talking about, I don't think he actually wants to build a dome over, unless he does, and I missed that. That would be weird. But I know he wants to build the Iron Dome system in the United States. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I'll tell you what, that just goes along with, again, his connections to the military industrial complex. I always love people who make the argument he's not for the military industrial complex when people that he's connected to are fully involved in the military industrial complex. Fascinating. And last but not least, Last but not least, the peanut gallery chiming in. Stephanie. I don't know if Stephanie's still here. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Fuzzy Wuzzy was a bear. Fuzzy Wuzzy had no hair. Fuzzy Wuzzy wasn't very fuzzy, was he? Well, if Fuzzy Wuzzy, the bear, wasn't very fuzzy wuzzy because he had no hair, then Fuzzy Wuzzy, the bear, was not very fuzzy wuzzy because he has no hair to be fuzzy with. But he did like to ride in the rubber baby buggy bumpers. So he did like to do that. All right, guys. That's all we got for questions and everything. So, but finishing this off, of course, we always finish off with the most important part of all this. Again, we could talk about all this technology and all the agenda and on politics and all that junk till the cows come home. I wish the cows would come home. But it doesn't mean anything if we don't have, of course, the only hope through all of this, which is Jesus Christ. And it's as simple as his gospel. It's a free gift for anybody who so chooses to accept it. It's nothing too complicated, but it's not as simple as some people like to make it out either. It's simple enough. It doesn't need to be oversimplified, but it's our only hope that we have left in this world. There is nothing left in this world that can fix anything. This world is not getting fixed. It will continue to get worse and worse and worse, no matter who is in control of anything. Not just here in the United States, but all over the world. Doesn't matter who it is. It's going to get worse. Why? Because the Bible tells us. And because because of that, we are to hold on and encourage each other with the hope that only comes through Jesus Christ. And of course, the promise of the rapture of his church before things get too bad. Remember, the worse the world gets, the closer we are to going home. But the only way that you will find that hope is through the gospel of Jesus Christ that comes from Jesus Christ. And as simple as ABC. A is you admit that you're a sinner. You admit that you have sinned and that you need Jesus Christ alone to save you through repentance. A word that's it just seems like it's getting thrown out of the church more and more today, which is unfortunate. But through repentance, it allows us to turn from self to Jesus. It's an understanding, a determination, a choice, a mental choice of going, I can't save myself. And I need Jesus Christ to save me, for he is the only one that can save me. And it's through repentance that allows us to truly believe in Jesus Christ as our Savior. How can we truly believe in Jesus as our Savior if we don't understand why we need Jesus as our Savior? So we repent, and then B, we believe. We believe that Jesus Christ is the one and only begotten Son of God, that he came down 100% man, 100% God, the God-man, the one and only. And he was the one and only to live the perfect sinless life, which made him the only one qualified to take our place upon that cross. He carried the sins of the world, and he was beaten and bruised and bloodied, whipped, because of us, because of me. We did that. But because he loves us so much, he took that pain and that punishment for us. And he was crucified on the cross. He died on that cross. But just as he promised he would, just as he prophesied, and because there's power in the blood of Jesus Christ, he defeated death and rose again on the third day for all who believe in him. For all who believe in him shall not perish, but live forever in his presence and in his glory. For all the glory is his. But keep in mind, knowing and believing are two different things. Two very different things. Many people in this world know the story. Very few actually choose to believe the story. And see as you call upon the Lord. Simple prayer. Lord Jesus, I'm a sinner and I have sinned, and I need you alone to save me. Lord Jesus, I believe that you are the one and only begotten Son of God, that you came down and lived the perfect sinless life. I believe that you died upon the cross, and that you rose again on the third day. Lord Jesus, forgive me of my sins. Come into my life, come into my heart, and save me. Amen. Repent, believe, and call upon the Lord, and you will be saved. And that is the only hope that we have. Don't put it off. Don't sit there on the fence and go, I don't know. Maybe I'll see how, I don't know. Maybe Tuesday, October, maybe, no, today. Again, we just talked about a whole bunch of stuff that all applies to this coming beast system. And if they're telling us that they're working on it, they've already got it going. Time is running out. We don't know how much time, but we do know it's running short. Don't wait. All right, guys, that is all I got tonight. Thank you guys for joining me today or tonight, wherever you're at. I don't know. Thanks for joining me. Usual spiel. If you guys can, like, share, subscribe, get this out to as many people as you can. It's not about views, not about butts and seats, but it is about getting the warning out to people and getting people to Jesus. Remember, that is what we need to focus on. Satan is going to throw so much at us to distract us. He's already doing so, but we need to remain focused on what we need to be doing. Warning people and getting people to Jesus. And with how the stupid AI algorithm, I know, works, liking, sharing, and subscribing does help get out to more people. And again, we want to be able to reach those who have questions, those who are lost, and ultimately those who need Jesus. So if you guys can do me a solid, like, share, subscribe, that'll all really help. Also, make sure you guys follow me, Rumble, Odyssey, Telegram. Rumble's my backup live streaming channel. Make sure you guys follow me there in case I get booted off of YouTube. Odyssey is an emergency platform there just in case things go south, but it is there just in case. Nothing exclusive. You're not missing anything. But if you have an account, you might as well follow me there. And Telegram, I post updates, announcements, news, things, and anything between. I just kind of throw it up there. Stuff that I can't necessarily put in video form or anything like that. I kind of throw it up on my Telegram, so make sure you guys follow me there. Also, make sure you guys bookmark and check out WretchedWatchmen.com. It's the official website. That's your one-stop shop for any questions. If I'm taking a break, I didn't announce anything, I'm not streaming, head on over there. I'll make sure that I let you guys know what's going on. You'll also be able to find all the information that you need to regarding what's going on with this channel. And then tomorrow, noon Central, bobbleheads, little break, laughter break. We all need to laugh every once in a while. So make sure you guys head on over there to YouTube and Rumble. Check out the bobbleheads noon Central. So that'll be out for a good laugh. And then if you guys would like to support this channel and what I do, it's not monetized. I don't make anything from ads or views or anything like that. It just runs solely off of your guys' generous donations. So if you guys would like to support what I do, allow me to keep doing what I'm doing, I got those donation links down below. CashApp, Venmo, and Give, Send, Go. Thank you, everybody who does support and donates, and you pray for me and you send me encouraging notes and stuff like that. Thank you guys for that. I'm truly blessed to be able to do what I do. So thank you. And that's it. So I'm going to leave you guys right here. You guys have a great rest of your week. Make it your mission. Just start simple. Share Jesus with just one person this week. Random person you don't know. Who knows? Maybe they're already Christian. You just made a new friend. Maybe they reject what you say. Doesn't matter. You planted the seed. You warn them, and let the Holy Spirit go to work. Either way, share the gospel, the hope that you have with somebody this week. And if the Lord does not come back by Saturday, same time, same place, I'll meet you guys right back here. All right, peace out. Maranatha.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.